and welcome to the October edition of the Boardman Outlook. I'm Melissa Majorano, and here with me is Brad Calhoun, Larry Molinterno, and Tom Costello. Take it away, gentlemen.
Thanks for attending the October edition of the Boardman Outlook. And we've had a lot going on all summer long, and we're happy to report just a number of things that really are good for Boardman Township and the residents and the citizens that come here and shop and eat here. One of the things we've been working on all year is our new township website. We're going to be launching this township website sometime in the very near future. And our goal is that it'll condense the time it takes for you to click around and find the information that you're looking for. And this is something that we've been, it's very, very important to us really for the last 3 years, and we're finally getting to it.
Well, not only for the current residents to be able to go on that website and get whatever information that they need, but also for people, maybe prospective businesses or prospective homeowners, to be able to go on the website and really get the right feel about what kind of opportunity that Boardman would provide for folks.
Well, there'll be a lot of additional information available now on our website, so if a citizen has an issue or concern at night or on the weekend, they can go on the website, possibly get the information they need without having to wait to make a phone call the next day and talk to somebody.
Right, so hopefully the website will be up and running by the end of the year, and it'll meet all of our expectations.
Well, I think it also has to do with the fact that when we were talking to folks and we were going around a lot last spring and last summer, one of the things that we heard a lot was that the community wanted us to communicate more and find more opportunities to communicate. And I think that's why the website was important for us, but it's also why these other items are important to us. The Boardman Reporter that we've put out, that everyone should have gotten in the mail, that we're trying to do on a regular basis to get information out to everybody about the things that are going on in the township. And also the Boardman Magazine, which I think has been very well received.
Well, the magazine that was put out, that was our second edition to that magazine, and basically that's highlighting the schools and the township, and then we're really highlighting the churches and everything that, as we say, Boardman's the Valley's destination, and there's an awful lot that we offer. And there was no cost to the taxpayer on this.
Right. That's very important to say. It's a great piece. It gives a lot of information, but it's at no cost to the taxpayers.
And like you said earlier, it showcases all of Boardman Township, and I think we're really doing a good job working very closely with the school system and with the park system and with the local retailers to show that we all have to be in this together to make it the best living experience for the people of Boardman.
And the biggest thing in the Boardman Reporter is the LEAF program. And we got jumping down to the road department a little bit, but we have the LEAF program going on, and I believe that's going to start up in the late October, maybe October 29th, I think I heard.
Yes.
And if you look in the Reporter and or in the Boardman News, they had a listing of all the streets. And if you're into recycling of your leaves, just put them out in paper bags, put them out, and they will be out there. I believe they're going to have 4 weeks of pickups.
It's a 4-week pickup, runs through the end of November. There's not going to be a leaf pickup the week of Thanksgiving.
Right.
And then the last pickup will be the week after Thanksgiving.
And just sticking with the road department now that we're talking about it, we also want to remind you that we do have a partnership with Elliott's on Western Reserve, and you can bring your own compost if you want to bring your own leaves. But if right now you're getting trees, branches, things like that, you're cleaning up, you can take it to Elliott's. If you're a Boardman resident, that is a free service. We have contracted with them, and we used to spend, what, 6-7 years ago, we used to spend $40,000 and $50,000 on running our own compost site, and we've struck a deal with Elliott's for $5,000.
That seems to have worked out extremely well, both for the township but for the community as a whole. I receive so many positives there. People go out, they show they're a Boardman resident, they drop off their stuff, and that's it. It's that easy.
It is an easy process. You go in there, all you do is show your license. There's a clipboard that says Boardman residents. You sign that, and you just give a quick idea of what it is that you're bringing: leaves, tree branches, and then drive on back, dump it, and leave. And I know I took advantage of it several times this summer. Also in the road department, we want to highlight we had 3.7 miles of road that were paved.
Yeah, and one of the things that I find interesting about that and of concern to all of us is the fact that we did 3.7 miles of road this year at the same cost that we would have been able to do about 30 miles of road not too many years ago. Right. And so the costs of doing these roads are continuing to rise, and I think we're probably at some point going to have to look at a road resurfacing program, because if we aren't able to turn those over every so many years, we're going to let the infrastructure of the township deteriorate. We certainly don't want that to happen. So I think it's going to be something that we're going to have to focus on over the next couple of years.
With us having approximately 145 mile of road that is our responsibility for Boardman Township, if we do 3 or 4 miles a year, and the life expectancy of those roads are anywhere from 10 to 15 years, depending on the traffic flow on that, we're going to get in trouble pretty quick if we can't catch up.
And we did submit an application for a road paving program. We haven't heard from that. That's something that we'll hear early next year.
Yes.
It's kind of a matching funds, and we were able to write the grant. We're pretty confident that our budget would allow us to match the funds, because really it's a very important thing to do, is to keep up with the roads, and this would help us, at least catch up maybe to satisfy the needs of the residents. Jumping into our police department, that's since the levy in that last August, it's been a very busy place. The thing that we'd like to highlight the most is hiring of new police officers. In August of 2011, we promised 10 new officers. We had the privilege of hiring 2 officers about 2 weeks ago. And those officers, Chris Costas, Boardman grad, and also Mike Colati, another Boardman graduate. So they're going to be probably up and running here, if they're not already in uniform.
They're probably both in training right now.
Okay. And then Larry, we also then offered 2 conditional offers of employment.
Yeah, 2 other young men that I think are going to be a fine addition to the Boardman Township Police Department, Joe Ollinger and David Koch. And I think that these 2 guys, again, what we're finding is that people want to come to the Boardman Police Department because they recognize us as being one of the finest departments around.
And Tom, I think you told me, well, how many officers do we have right now currently?
This will bring us up to 54, and we promised 10 when we did the police levy. This makes 7 of the 10 that have been hired, and we said it would take us 2 years, which would be August of 13. The goal is to have that 10 number next spring.
And of course, we've been reporting on a radio system pretty much the entire year, and I think we're almost to the point where that I think they actually went live with it a couple times to try to see if it, work out any bugs before they actually make the permanent switch. But this new radio system is mandated by the federal government,
yes.
And this has been paid for with all of our drug seizure money. So this is, another opportunity we had to take the bad guy money and use it for our infrastructure. And it was about a $900,000 project.
And I like the fact that we've partnered up with Austin Township in doing this, and I think Mill Creek Park Police Department's going to be involved in this, and I think we should expect to see some other police departments also being part of this. And I think it's a real show that Boardman's trying to be a leader in developing these kinds of collaborations with our other local communities.
I mean, I think we took the lead on this, and Austin Town jumped in and saw the good thing going here, and Mill Creek talked to us.
Yes.
But you're correct. Every organization out there that has to change, they're mandated by the federal government. They're all going to be coming running to Boardman to find out how they can get in on this. And I'm glad we're the head of the game.
Well, like you said, we took the lead on it together with Austin Town, and the system is actually large enough that most of Mahoning County can come into this system and meet the new current federal standards, which are required by next year. And it's kind of neat and kind of proud to be the fact that we're taking the lead in Mahoning County.
The other thing I just want to mention, we kind of going back briefly to the levy, one of the things that I find interesting is that as you drive around Boardman, you notice more police presence. We have more guys on the road now on the different shifts, and we're starting to see that. Folks might wonder why it takes so long maybe to hire these 10 people. And physically, we can only train so many at a time, and that's why we've been bringing them in small groups. But the other thing that was part of that levy also was to bring back our juvenile diversion program, which was something that was we had to cut back on a few years ago because of our funding restraints, and that's really going to make a significant impact on the community too.
And I think that's going to be the priority in January, is to get that program interviewed and then hired, and then they'll have the remaining portion of the school year to kind of meet all the school personnel and get in contact with everyone to make that a successful program.
As that program grows, I know they want to add a victim advocacy portion to that, which is also something that we had in the past and lost due to finances a few years back. And it's really important to have somebody there to help victims work their way through the system and understand how the system works. When we had that in the past, there were so many positive comments, and I'm really looking forward to getting that back.
And I believe one other component is going to be, at some point, once we get all the other components rolled out, is to looking at our seniors in the township and trying to, make sure that we have an opportunity to find out where they live, get in contact with them, and then if they want to be on a list, we can knock on their doors. If we give them a phone call, if they don't answer, we'll go knock on their doors and make sure everything's okay. The one thing I did skip over in the Boardman Township part is the gas aggregate program. And I wanted to kind of come back to that because it's going to be a significant amount of savings for Boardman residents. If you were in our program, which nearly most of Boardman was, you were paying $5.54 per MCF. And we just negotiated a rate of $3.99, so it's a significant decrease. And if you got a letter from Boardman Township, and it basically says you're in it, in the bottom part it says, do you want to opt out? If you want to leave the program, that's fine, but you don't have to do anything if you're already in it. You just go ahead and start reaping the benefits in late October. I believe that bill will start.
And even that 554 rate at the time last year was a great rate. And I know that a lot of people saw a lot of savings in their utility bills. And so now we're able to, I think because we have more and more people in the system, we're able to negotiate those kind of rates.
Well, we've also added all the other communities. They now negotiate with all the other communities. I mean, Boardman was one of the first to start the aggregate program. And then the other surrounding communities all saw it, put it on the ballot. Now they're all in, and now we have a big pool of communities.
Which brings the rates down.
Right. And I've had a lot of questions about the electric. It's kind of new, but we do have an electric aggregate program, and there's some mixed signals going out, but there's a company out there that's talking about a fixed rate for 7 years. And what I've been told and have been assured is that currently our rate is cheaper than that rate. So there's a 15% savings on a much lower rate. Now, they are trying to lock you in for 7 years. That is a risk that you take, but it could be a benefit, but it could be a huge risk. And right now, our aggregate program is really recommending that you stick with the Boardman program. It's cheaper than that current rate. No guarantees really what 7 years might hold, but by all accounts, we have kept going down. And with the added communities, I think you're going to keep seeing electric going down as well. Let's jump into the fire department then. A lot going on there as well. One of the big things, Tom, I'm going to have you address is our ISO rating and how it connects with this ladder truck that we purchased.
We've been concerned, our current ladder truck in the fire department is 21 years old. It's a 1991. And there's an organization called the Insurance Service Office that rates communities on their fire protection capabilities. They substantially discount any units or vehicles that are over 20 years old. In fact, they almost give you no credit whatsoever, which could cause our ISO rating to change. What that means in English is your homeowners rates and your property rates for your businesses for insurance would go up. They would be increased. We were aware of this. We looked at it. We worked with our chief, George Brown, and he brought several different options to us. And we're waiting now for the proud delivery of our new fire ladder truck, which will be delivered, I'm told, sometime mid-November.
Right.
And it's at a cost that exceeds $900,000. As you can see, this is a substantial purchase, but this is a piece of equipment that will last us hopefully 20 years at least.
Well, I have a feeling that the property insurance went sky high in Camel. And that's what had our concern was, because their property rates went, property taxes, $200–300 to $400 or $500.
When they lost their ISO rating in Camel, homeowners policies increased anywhere from, I'm going to say, $300 to $400 per year. Right,
and that's just unacceptable. One of the other things we got going on, we did hire we had a assistant chief, Joe Roski, retire, and then we had the civil service. They did the promotional test, and we had the opportunity to give a conditional basic offer. We're going to swear him in, I believe, so the family, everybody was going to be invited at our next meeting, but we got a new assistant fire chief.
And Don Close, who's been with us for quite a while, is going to be sworn in on our next meeting on the 15th. And we're real proud to be able to do that. But I think the other thing I'll mention very briefly is that our fire department has been doing a lot to promote research for breast cancer, and they're actually wearing pink t-shirts throughout the month of October. And I think we're going to be donning those pink shirts also when we swear in Dawn on the 15th, because we want to show our support. I love the fact that our employees, the fire department, police department, and some of the others not only do they do what they do every day, but they're always trying to do those little extra things to give back to the community.
Well, I heard the initial order was 300 shirts, and they've since put in 2 more orders for shirts because of the demand that people are having, that they want to be part of the organization. And I know at the school there's something going on with breast cancer awareness almost in every program.
That's great.
One of the other things that we got going on in the fire department, you might have read recently, was that we got a phase 1 study initiated. Our fire station is really just an embarrassment. The main fire station, if you go in, they've done some touch-ups, but if you go down in the basement and stuff, there's rooms down there that we cannot allow people to really inhabit, or can't put storage. It's muddy, it's moldy, sewage back up there, and the station itself is, what was it, Bill? Do you have the year on that?
I believe it was 1923.
1923.
It's something that's older than I am.
That's not something that we take lightly. That doesn't happen very often.
And structurally, the building is just not where we need it to be.
No, so we are looking for the phase 1 study. It was they're going to look at some different properties that we have kind of pinpointed around Boardman. We're going to have the opportunity to look at the current property. We're going to take a look at property that we own, and they're going to come back with some sort of recommendation to us, or multiple recommendations that will probably help us make a decision. But I would think, this is not something that's going to probably be built next year, but it's something we certainly have to make decisions about next year and get us on the right track.
And one of the things is, we talk about this, and it sounds like we're doing a lot of different things, but if you go back to our 2016 plan, which is available for folks if they want to get a copy of that, everything that we're talking about are all things that there's been a lot of thought, there's been a lot of planning put into place for us to be doing this, because we really are trying to make decisions based on the long run and the long run support of what we do at the township.
And the 2016 plan basically is the idea that whoever sits here, they have, once they would take a seat, they kind of know the vision, and they can tweak that vision themselves. But basically the map has been laid out, and try to move forward. And I think 2016 is the first time it's ever been done. I think, Larry, you introduced a strategic plan once, before Tom and I came, and then we've taken that a step further, and I think their department heads and all of us, we've embraced one plan.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 5-year business plan that includes finances that we have shared with everybody, and that will be on the website once the website is up and running, so that anybody that's interested in it can see it. There's copies of it available at the township. We're very proud of the roadmap and want everybody to know what our plans are, based on what you've told us for this community.
And one of the things that was part of that plan was looking into properties like the Terrace Motel, and we've talked about this on a number of occasions, but we did finally, were able to secure the funding through some grants to be able to demo the Terrace Motel, which unfortunately sometimes in government things take a little bit longer than we would like, but we'll be looking at that building being demoed sometime in the spring, along with another program that we're working on, that we will hopefully be able to demo up to about 20-some buildings.
I think that's the goal. I mean, the first program, we got a grant from the county commissioners, awarded us I believe it was $75,000 for the terrace.
$75,000 community development block grant money.
And we've assured them that if it goes over, the Boardman Township will pick up the rest of that tab, because that's something that we've been wanting to take down really for a long time. And then the home program that Larry talked about, that was another program that the Attorney General, they awarded us $100,000, but we have to match that. But our goal is to tear down at least 20 homes throughout Boardman, and if you live in those communities, in that neighborhood, and you know where those homes are, I think you'll be very pleased with those homes coming down next
well, and
year
ideally,
or so.
what we want to be able to do is, in those properties, we can demo them, we can plant green space, and then make that land more attractive for the next resident that wants to come in there and build homes.
Right. Well, that really that was everything we've done all summer in a nutshell. And what we got is our next November meeting, and our next taping in November. We'll be talking probably about the 2 new police hires. I believe we're going to have a new fireman that we're going to hire probably by our next show. And one of the good things about our new hires is when we have someone retire, we have a significant amount of savings because of the restructured contracts.
Yes.
And that's helping us with that 2016 plan. That's strategic plan. So when we come back in November, we got a lot of other exciting things to do, and we're not done here, because we have a commitment here those last 3 years to work on a lot of things, and If you've been following us in the Boardman Reporter and our show, you'll see that we've been knocking things off one day at a time. Larry, any closing words?
No, I want to just repeat what you're saying about the Boardman Reporter, the Boardman magazine that we've put out at no cost to the township, by the way, the Boardman magazine, because folks said they wanted us to communicate more, and we're doing everything we can to get the information out, not only through those resources, but also anytime somebody wants to come. Our meetings are the second and fourth Monday at 5:30 at the township, but also anytime any local group wants us to come out and talk with them about what's going on, we'll come out and talk.
Tom, anything?
Well, our meetings are the second and fourth Monday, except in October, Larry.
True.
Because the second Monday was a holiday. Our meetings are October the 15th and the 29th at the Township Hall at 5:30. And of course, everybody needs to remember, trick or treat is the 31st from 5 till 7 here in Boardman, Ohio.
And that's a forever, we've made a proclamation that that's forever. That's, unless there's 3 new trustees here, but that's always going to be 5 to 7 on the 31st. So with that, thank you guys for another great show, and we'll be back in November.
This has been another edition of the Boardman Outlook. Have a great day.